Evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of BAFSAF. We are on episode 27. Today, we're going to be discussing Inner Peace or NSL. It's not that serious, but I thought it was a catchy little title. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. How have you been? How's your week been? Your month so far? We're already a little over halfway through April. Gone by pretty quickly. For those who worked and got a W-2, did you file your taxes or put in your extension as you were? Because last day to file was the 15th. I hope you guys got all that in. I have had a pretty okay month so far. I've gotten some great news and things are set in motion to change for the better. You have to forgive me. I'm kind of struggling today, and this episode I hope will help me as well. But little low energy today. I can't necessarily blame it all on the weather because the sun's been poking out as of this late afternoon. But we've had some cloudy, groggy, mostly day today. But I don't know. I'm just kind of down, kind of out of it today. So I will try to be on my best to push this through today. But I hope everything's been going well for you. We are coming up on the summer. If you have kids, everyone's all about out of school now. You've got another month left for any seniors who are graduating this year, and then another month and a half for just about everyone else. Hope everyone's getting their prom attire ready. You've already made your purchases for your class rings. I never got one. All that jazz. It's been 14 years since I've been in school. About 14 years this summer. Yeah. I also ask that you bear with me. I'm on kid duty tonight. Wife had to work this evening, so we're all good. So I will go into the topic and the schedule. I forgot to remind myself to do that. I'll go over the topic and schedule here shortly. But as you are all familiar with, guess what time it is? Weather time. That was supposed to be like lightning and thunder. I just gave up halfway through, so whatever. If you happen to be in the Wichita or Midwest, Kansas area, here's what we're looking at for the rest of the month going in the beginning of May. So tomorrow, Friday the 19th, we're looking at a high of 65, low of 43. And let me just say this so I don't have to say it. It will be cloudy for the rest of the month. We are also getting storms, so but I'll mention those here. But just understand, if it ain't cloudy, it's raining. So Friday, high of 65, low of 43. Saturday the 20th, high of 59, low of 39. That'll be the coldest day for the rest of the month. Sunday the 21st, we're coming back up on high 63, low of 41. Monday the 22nd, we've got a high of 74, low of 54. As well as Tuesday the 23rd, except it's going to be low of 49. And it's going to be a windy day on that Monday. Very windy. Wednesday the 24th, we're looking at a high of 71, low of 56. Thursday the 25th, we're looking at a high of 74, low of 60, with scattered thunderstorms for the day. On Friday the 26th, hopefully we get the return with Sketch and Catch featuring Trey. We're still messing around with the schedule on that, but I digress. Looking at a high of 80. We're going to be in the 80s for the rest of the month at this point. High of 80, low of 59, thunderstorms. Saturday the 27th, high of 81, low of 59, thunderstorms. Sunday the 28th, high of 80, low of 55, thunderstorms. Monday the 29th, high of 80, low 55. Once again, cloudy day. Tuesday the 30th, we've got a high of 81, low 58. Wednesday, May the 1st, high of 81, low 59, morning showers. And Thursday the 2nd, when we return for BAFSAF, high of 81, low 57, scattered thunderstorms as well. But if you're familiar with the Wichita Midwest area, all weather is permitted to change. So it's going to be raining and it's going to be May. Get your NSYNC Justin Timberlake memes ready because you've got another couple weeks before we hit that day. Looks like the moon phase tonight is going to be the wax and gibbous. Never actually said those before. How did you enjoy the eclipse? For anyone that may have been able to see it, I was able to peek my head out, but here in Wichita, Kansas, we got a little side boob action of the eclipse, so it was pretty cool to see. It wasn't the full-on eclipse blast to the face like Oklahoma and Texas got, but I did see a little bit of it. It was worth it. Did not have the glasses. I also stared into it with raw eyes, and it did affect me. So I had this like little I had like a little color spot that I would see. Stupid, I know. I just wanted to test the waters because, you know, growing up we've always been told not to do it. It'll take out your eyes completely. Well, it didn't do that. But whenever I would look at a white spot or a white surface, anything that had white on it, I would always see this like color of orange, like a spot. And it would like, I'd see it as a spot and it would just kind of like flatten out and spread across the entire white surface that I was looking at. So it's kind of trippy. But other than that, no other side effects. But I don't recommend staring into the eclipse if you've been told not to do so. I don't know why I was being a daredevil that day, but I decided not to, and I did it a few times. And I had the sunglasses, which helped, but I also was doing it with glasses on, which was a no-no, because light and refraction through glass. So learned not to do that. And it was also a weird day because I had to keep my kids inside. I just couldn't trust them not to look up. So all in all, the experience was as I thought it would, you know, everybody just standing outside, staring at the moon, sun, and taking pictures. It's a rare phenomenon that we all like to get a chance to look at, but I feel like after an hour, it's like, okay, even though it doesn't really last an hour. I don't know where I'm going with this, but we'll move forward. So today's topic is on the mental and emotional side of exercise and health. We're going to talk today about how to maintain inner peace and what you can do if you found yourself without it or outside of it. So last episode we talked about physical fitness, physical wellness, being, you know, I didn't actually go into detail because I'm not a professional, I'm not a guru at it. I just kind of gave what I know, what I've learned, what's helped me, what's helped others. I also forgot a few things, but in the edited video, I think I'll add in everything that I want. But, you know, we went over workouts that you can do at home instead of needing a gym, or if you can't make it to a gym, we went over that. Stretches are very important if you're going to work out or, you know, weight lift, body build, do sports, whatever the case may be. Have to stretch. It'll help. It helps. It also keeps you from draining or hurting any muscles or nerves before, during, or after any curricular activity. So for like, oh, and not to mention, if you haven't seen the episode, you got to see me get a little physical because I was up and down all over this room showing people how to do stuff that they probably already know how or can find on YouTube. But I got my little workout in, so I'm not tripping. I hope it was found useful by all viewers, but it's actually, well, no, I don't know. I'm thinking of a different video. Anyway, so yeah, today I just wanted to kind of go over what's helped me, what I've come to learn and understand has helped others on how to acknowledge and attack any challenges to your mental or emotional health. So what we're talking about is what may challenge your inner peace, causes of stress, signs of stress, ways to decompress, ways to maintain peace, and also why mental health is important. And then when I say stress, I mean anything that could provide stress, depression, anxiety, low energy phases, anything like that. So we'll get into all that here shortly. As a channel, I would just want to give a couple birthday shout outs. I have my uncle whose birthday today, my older brother whose birthday today, and then my son whose birthday is coming up this weekend. Happy birthday to all you guys. I will be posting, if not, or contacting you, but happy birthday, everyone. As far as schedule goes, nothing's changed so far. Like I said, next week, next Friday, me and Trey will try to reconvene once again about 4 o'clock. We'll try to be on time, but we are working with some schedule changes, so bear with us. We are still trying to maintain the podcast that we have worked so hard on. It's just that he's now got his desired schedule that helps and works with what he wants with his growing family, and there's gonna be some changes that benefit mine as well, but we'll definitely keep everybody posted. As long as you keep yourself posted on the socials, we'll all be good. And again, I game stream 3 weeks a month, no longer 4. The last weekend of each month I will be dedicating to just catching up on any editing and work that I need and want to do. That way it gives me more time, and I'm a little less stressed because I'm trying to continue to catch up as I'm putting content out. I do it to myself, but also I've been a lot more busier than I wanted to be. But you know, that's life. This isn't something that's actually in the bill, so I've got to put it on the back burner, do it if I can. Well, not the back burner, but I do with what I can. As you can see, I don't have my iconic cup because we don't have any more waters in our cooler. We have a Cooligan cooler, and I'm proudly drinking out of a Ozarka bottle. I love Ozarka. I wish that we could get the Ozarka 5-gallon jugs, but we don't have a distribution center here that they could send it to, so I can't order them online because they only select ship to locations, and I'm not driving anywhere unless I have a U-Haul, and I'm spending about $1,000 to get 10 at each time. But I don't even think it'd be 1,000, but the whole trip there back anyway. So as I said, I'm kind of feeling, you know, a little low energy lately, so please bear with me. But hopefully, again, this will help me out. This help you out. Help anyone else that you may know. So let's talk about challenges to mental health and inner peace. Now, when I say that, it's very broad. Just to start, it could be issues like stress, depression, heartache, disappointment, sadness, anger, anxiety, or even numbness to emotions and weather. That can cause some mental or I put physical, but mental and emotional emotions as well as physical. Heartache. There have been some rare, very rare deaths to heartache, losing a loved one, anything that, you know, people have died due to heartache, and not just like a heart attack, but like an emotional blow, that you just, your body just kind of shuts down. Not really familiar with the process of how that happens. I've heard about it, and very sad, very sad. I'm also going to mention depression and anxiety a few times. Again, I'm no professional. I know only what I've researched and what I've heard from people who do actually have it and have been actually diagnosed with those diagnoses. But I won't sit here and act like I know it all. So uh, disappointment, I felt like, is a big one. Disappointment, I feel like, is a big one because depending on how good or bad of a day that you're having, disappointment can be the straw that breaks the camel's back or the cherry on top, or it could be like the beginning of a domino effect. Uh, Having bad days is always not great, but depending on where you're at with that day or how much, like what level of I'm over it you're at, it could really hurt or hinder or just completely implode whatever you have going on for the day. I've had quite a few of them. I'm sure you've had quite a few of disappointing days or bad days where disappointment just tends to just shut it all down. Um, Now, when it comes to having challenging days or moments when it comes to mental health or a challenge towards your inner peace, you may not notice it at first, but over time, the effects can be visible or more apparent internally. Uh, we'll get into all of the signs here shortly, but just wanted to note that whether it's something that you're dwelling on, whether like you're kind of stuck in a rut, or it's just like a low energy phase where it's happening for like a few days to a week, or maybe you actually are having a chronic episode due to your diagnosed issues such as depression or anxiety, and it could be going on for a while. Whatever the case may be, and you feel like you might be in the sunken place, over time, physically, it will start to show, um, inside and out. And you might notice it, friends might notice it, peers might notice it. You know, whoever is you're around, if you're around people, it might be noticeable after a while. Some people who are really good at catching things will probably notice it fairly quickly, and to whatever your response is, a lot of us will go, nothing's wrong, or don't want to talk about it. You'll never understand. But we want to try to pull ourselves out of being able to respond that way because those aren't true. You're not okay. People do understand. I think whenever we use that line, you won't understand, or I'm misunderstood, or no one understands me well enough, I do believe that we as a people need to stop seeking people to understand us. We don't need to be so fully understood that that's the only way that we feel like we can connect with people. I think being understood is a double-edged sword because if you're saying that people don't understand you, but you're not allowing people to understand you through communication or just being there or however it is that you need to let people know to get you, it seems like you're just doing it on purpose. You like the idea of being mysterious because then it kind of gives you this edge over people not being able to figure you out. So, and I get that. I've been in a position where people have. I don't think I've ever been in a position where someone has figured me out and I was not okay with it. I actually would much rather someone have an idea or at least kind of tell me that they figured me out and then give me some inkling of it, but there's so much more. And I'm also one of those people that I'm speaking of where it's like, oh, you don't actually really understand me. I don't really tell people about me or how to understand me. I'm doing much better now, but me in the past, I was a fairly closed lid on a lot of things unless I full on trusted you even then you didn't know everything. I didn't give you everything, and I'm still the same way, but I'm more open, and I'm okay with being more open now than I was before. You would almost think that I was some kind of hero or villain that I didn't want anyone to know about, and I lived a double or more life. But I can see both sides. I was that person who was like, "Oh no, you won't ever know me. You don't actually know me," because I did feel misunderstood. I felt like people didn't really take the time to want to get to know me at all. Therefore, I didn't want to put in the effort to explain or let you in. But at the same time, there were people who wanted to, and I didn't. I didn't let them in enough, or a lot, or quick enough. I could have been better about it, but I hid a lot of myself from my peers because I didn't think they'd be able to handle it. I didn't actually think I was good enough for people. When it came to certain women that I wanted as a partner, I would always allow myself to feel like I was not their standard. Like I wasn't in their league, and therefore I didn't really make a lot of advances because I just felt like I just didn't belong. I didn't have the chance. I wasn't worthy. Um, which, whether it was right or wrong, I shouldn't have thought that way. I should have been more positive. I should have just, I should have come to the real understanding that, well, hey, if there's actually a bond or if there's something that's connecting us, I can enjoy what's there. And if it has the potential to grow, let it grow. I cut myself off from being able to enjoy all that because I was protecting my own emotions and my own mental health. I just I didn't want to put anyone in a position to figure me out later on and they go, "Oh, I've made a mistake." Or early on and they're like, "You're not like who I thought you would be." And we're both just kind of sitting there like, "Well, this is a waste of time. Time was lost." But I get it. I've been on all sides of what I'm going on about here. I've been Mr. Mysterious. I've been the one who looks through the mystery, and I'm also on the other side of on the street here, and I'm just going, what's the point of being mysterious? And you're just kind of forcing that narrative for I see all angles of the whole shrouded mystery profile, but I won't knock it because again, that was me. I feel like I should be done with that. I have no. I went on such a tangent. I have no idea what I'm saying now. I don't even know what I just said. What the hell was I just saying? Oh, being understood. Okay. Moving on. So yeah, speaking of being mysterious with your peers, it can affect having challenges towards your mental health and inner peace can affect how you interact with your peers. So for me, because I was Mr. Mysterious, I I was very I wouldn't say very. I was pretty standoffish at times. I when it came to me, like if there was something going on, I would definitely shut down. I would just be silent and almost I would be physically present, but depending on the severity of what was going on, I would also be mentally and emotionally checked out. Especially at work, it made it difficult for a lot of my coworkers to work with me because with me being so upset, I'm shutting down. My responses are physical. I'm giving head nods or head shakes or I'm pointing. And that's hard to work with somebody, especially if you're working in a bar and restaurant where it's like verbal communication is key. But luckily, I had my stations so locked down and routine that if you came back and asked me a question about what I had going on or if anything you needed, I was able to direct you with head nods or hand gestures. Wasn't the best. I understand that, but that's what we were working with. And I'll say this, I like the fact that I was able to work at a job where I could be that way so I can come to an understanding of how that's not okay. Um, you know, I made it pretty difficult for my coworkers to work, and then also feel like they could work with me and approach me, because on good days and decent days I was pretty approachable. We had laughs, we had good times. I've shared stories and memories with people, but when those days are present where I'm just so upset that I don't want to talk to anyone, I'm just there to work, and it takes me a few hours, especially if I'm walking in at 7 is when my shift would start, but I'm rolling in between 7:05 and 7:15. um it takes me a few hours to shake it off. And a lot of people thought I'm walking into work and they're like, oh, he's mad, something happened. It's like a lot of times I walked into work because it was work, and that place was a black hole of issues. But to no one's blame but our own. It was just that I allowed work to get to me, and having to be there, and it was life draining. So I always a lot I did walk into work with an attitude, but I never really tried to or wanted to direct it towards anyone. Everyone just knew that I was upset. I just go straight to work, and I take a few hours to calm down, maybe some alcohol, but then I'd be okay. But again, it was wrong. Um, there we go, on a damn tangent again. So yeah, it would affect how my peers would be able to operate around me, because I wasn't able to open up and speak what was going on. Therefore, a lot of people either had to guess, or they knew me so well they knew, like, oh, if I was mad, leave him alone. And then once I was able to start talking, everyone's like, oh, okay, no, he's good now. And then the night would get better, but I didn't like being able to put people through that. Um, that must have been so uncomfortable, because times I'm in that position where people's emotions are so exuberant, you can feel them in the air. It's just like, ugh, what do we do now? Awkward moment. I feel those now. I used to just be like, I would take it as a competition or a challenge, and now so I'm very aware of it, that I don't really care to step on anyone's toes. Now I'm just like, oof. All right, I'm gonna give you time, figure it out, and we'll rain check whatever we have to do. But also for me, I was an angry guy. Like, I was very disgruntled a lot of times between, I want to say, 24 to 29. Yeah. But outside of me and the issues that I brought to my peers, it's not only anger that people have to deal with. Sometimes it's sometimes full blown sadness, sometimes it's full blown depression, maybe even anxiety. But even having a bad day, and depending on how you are when you get angry, maybe you snap, maybe you are like me where you just tend to shut down and try to bury it all before it all just explodes. Maybe you cuss a lot, maybe you scream, maybe you're physical, maybe you're destructive. However that is, that can affect who is around you, whether it be children, family, small family, older family, elders, friends, coworkers even, or just strangers out in public. Now, I will say, with weighted emotions, it can feel like you're sluggish, stuck in life, or needing a change of pace. Weighted emotions, it's that feeling, just kind of like there's a heavy heart. You may or may not know why, but you just have this heavy heart and kind of like numbness, but it's just something that's just really weighing on you. And it's just one of those days where you're just like, ugh. One of those days. And those are the times where vulnerability is at an all-time high, and negative starts can start to not only just seep in but flood in. And once those negative thoughts start to come in, it'll cause some chaos. And if you don't get out those emotions or those negative thoughts, if you don't express them properly, or if you don't release them, it can become this like ball of chaos in your head. And if you're anyone like how I used to be, still kind of am, where you get inside your head and everything just kind of goes around. It's like having popcorn in a bag and it's just popping. Like everything that you've kept in because you're so angry, you're gathering up all this energy that's just turning into heat. And all this negative stuff that you're thinking about starts popping and growing and getting bigger to where all of it just starts to expand and it has to burst somewhere somehow. Um, and that can before it'll pop. It'll pop, and that's not good. But with those thoughts before they pop, you know, you may start to question yourself, feel like you're stuck in life, stuck at a job, start to lose appreciation for everything that you have and you're doing because it just seems like it's mundane. It may seem repetitive and it may start to get to you. Thus, needing a change of pace, needing to go out, needing to do something new or different. Another challenge is that long time exposure to mental and emotional issues can lead to questioning your life or reality, as just stated. Oh, okay. I just kind of said a couple things without even knowing it. So whenever you're having a bad day or you're having a bad week or a month, in reality, you're just like at this time you're just holding on to things. What I learned is that whenever you have anything longer than a bad day, that's you've chosen to do that because there are ways that you can decompress, let things go, or solve things so you can let. But there is this tendency that I think a lot of us don't realize is that when it comes to anger or feeling a certain emotion, the feeling that you get and feeling that being able to feel that feeling, I would assume I'm trying to find like a relativity connection here. I want to say you can start to become addicted to that feeling, and it could be any feeling. It could be pure joy, happiness. It could be excitement. It could be fear. That like there's an adrenaline rush that comes with fear, especially doing extreme fear stuff. Anger, which I myself have an issue with. But it's easy to latch on to these feelings and allow them to fuel us through the day, which in turn, part of that fuel, part of that fuel is the thoughts and emotions that come with it. So that's easy example for me when it was anger. If I'm having a bad day, that day has passed, I'm waking up and I'm just not feeling myself and I'm still feeling a little heated from the day before. My one day is turned into 3 days, 3 days is turned into a week. And what happens is that some reason that feeling of being angry starts to turn into this intoxicating energy that I can feel coursing through my bloodstream, veins, my body in general. And I want to continue to be angry. I want to continue to pursue this emotion and then I'm constantly fueling it by allowing these thoughts and feelings to be in rotation so I can continue to fuel that feeling. Same can go for happiness. The same can go for sadness. Anything that I would say for sadness, one of the easiest ways to do it is like when you're sad for whatever reason it may be, you start to listen to music that has sad lyrics or a sad kind of what's the word, depressing tone to it, or a depressing pace, and you listen to either a specific song or a specific set of songs in rotation just to continue that feeling. That's another example of that. But there are ways where you're able to let go of that so you don't keep that flow of negativity fueling what you're feeling. I know for me, I had it pretty bad when it came to anger. It was pretty bad. Now for me, whenever I know it, like I can acknowledge it that it's happening, I have to tell myself to breathe or rotate my shoulders or stretch my shoulders, and just like to really get myself calmed down, because I know how long that can go. And being angry and using that as like an energy source is very exhausting. I there were times when I was younger and I would get so angry that I just like I kind of start to get a little physical. Like I want to punch stuff and break stuff, but especially when it came to like being angry and knowing that I could go fight somebody, I would use that. But after a few hours of being in that state of mind, I'm so exhausted. I get so tired. Like right now, I'm tired. Oh. Trying to figure out what I want to do after. I keep editing and then finish the game or watch No Time to Die. I don't know. I've got a lot I want to do tonight, but not a whole lot of time. Anyway, moving on. Getting focused here. When you're in these modes of low energy phases, bad days, bad week, you might find yourself wanting attention or the presence from your peers. Or it could be the opposite. You might want less time. You want, less time, more space. You might want more time, more attention, more presence, or you might want less time and more space. You might want to be away from people for, a little longer, which I definitely understand that. I'm so bad sometimes that I don't even touch my phone. Or it's like I can be on my phone, but I won't talk to people. I'll get messages, text messages, even phone calls, and sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to talk to anyone today. I don't want to deal with anyone today. What I could do better in that situation is just simply let the person know who's contacting me, hey, taking a break from communicating with people today. I need a break. Need a mental break. But I'm still in the habit of ignoring people and just explaining myself later, or not at all. I just be like, hey, because outside of me having those days, which is pretty rare, I do have 3 kids in the house. And I'm always, for the most part, I'm always doing something. I try to keep myself busy in the house, but a lot of times if I am using my phone, I'm just trying to find something as background noise to keep me going. Other than that, I'm trying to like read stuff, do research, or just find some kind of peace throughout the day. Difficult. It's very difficult. You may also notice that in these phases, or like the time frame that you feel them, it could feel like it's longer. So let's say you may have had a bad few days. Those few days may have felt like a week. It always seems like time is stretched when things aren't going your way. You know, the worst case scenarios are happening. It seems like time is at a standstill or is in slow mo. Nothing ever seems like it's fast. Okay. Um. So yeah, back to low energy phases. So, you may also notice that in these times that being at your low points can make you feel like you or anything you do doesn't matter. Self-doubt. I've had a lot of these. I've had it today. You know, it's the thing is that I don't know if it ever completely goes away. I used to have it really bad, um, before, and now it creeps back up on me from time to time. I don't know if it ever goes away, but I do know that as long as you continue to just put in the effort to keep up with whatever you're doing, whether it's work, career, any upstart like businesses or art that you have going on, whatever it is that you're doing, if you're having any self-doubt, do what you can to try to occupy that space before it starts to seep in and grow. For me, I just tell myself to keep going, keep working on things, just to try to ignore that other voice in my head telling me those negative things. Again, I don't know if it ever stops, but I just know that I've gotten a little better at not listening to that voice and just making sure I myself get up every day knowing that I need to keep going, knowing that I need to keep working, and just keep seeing the positives. The negatives are going to be there. And of course, with that other voice in your head, the negatives are going to be spoken to you. But you have to keep looking at the positives. You have to keep knowing that the positives are there and that will continue to happen. There are low points in anything that you have doing going on in your life. There are pause points and there are flourishing points. Sometimes you may hit the low points, sometimes you may hit the pause points, and you may think it's all over. You just got to take it one day at a time and understand that you will know when it's the. But until that time, you just got to keep going. You can't assume it. You got to keep going. And I get it. You know, if like me, you might hear that and go, I'm tired of hearing that, or I don't want to constantly tell myself that. Sometimes with life, things have to be repeated. Things have to be routine, and in that such, may have to constantly tell yourself to keep going. And it's okay to feel this way, but keep going. You can feel these feelings, you can have these thoughts, but don't let them hold you down. Don't let them shackle you to yourself inside and internally and fill that void. You gotta know to keep pushing through all of that. You gotta be able to tell yourself that it's okay, but you gotta keep going. Truly have to keep going. In this mode, it can also affect how you receive compliments and or criticism. I've always had this weird way to react when people tell me things. I just kind of get awkward, and I used to not know how to respond. Now I say thank you, but sometimes I still question if that was the right way to respond. Which I know it was. Sometimes I just like overthink, and I'm just like, don't say that, don't think that, because I know it was true. I'm not telling myself not to say or think it because I want to silence it. I know it was okay, and I don't need to overthink that little moment. But I used to have it bad where I just kind of didn't know how to receive compliments. Criticism I could take because I'm like, okay, now I know what I need to change. Now I know what I need to fix. But if someone's making a compliment or giving me praise, I'm just like, thank you. I don't know how to not awkwardly accept that, but I do. It's gonna be like, huh. Not that ugly, but it's something similar. Uh, outside of being able to receive compliments and or criticism, you may even doubt the support you have from your peers. This also kind of ties in with that mystery profile because it kind of does and it kind of doesn't. I feel like it's the opposite. I think the way I split it in two, because if I say it in the sense of mystery, you doubt that they have the potential to support you, to believe in you, to understand you, to be able to help you get through whatever, you know? But on the opposite side, where people are just so self-absorbed that they think no one can help them through or whatever it is, they're so misunderstood, they're so different, so unique, that their issue is just like how we acted, how a lot of us acted as tweens and teens, where we thought adults just didn't get it, they didn't understand. That is a very good example of what I'm referring to. Having doubt that you have little to no support from your peers, or doubting the support from your peers. Yeah. Because as an adult, past the point where you're an adolescent, you think you know everything. You may still be in that phase at 20, 30 years old, like some people that I've heard and I'm aware of. But no, there are definitely people out there who act that way still. But yeah, I would say definitely doubting support that you have from peers, because not only doubting but also dismissing. One example in particular that I'm holding on to right now is those people who are on social media and like they're, oh, it's me against the world, I have nobody, blah 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 blah, and it's like, one, you're fishing for attention. Two, you feel like you're alone, but you're not. And you only are saying these things and you're allowing yourself to feel these things is because the person that you actually want, or the people that you actually want, the attention that you actually want, you're not getting. So you have to publicly voice your opinion. You have to publicly voice your emotion to get that attention. And you're getting it in the wrong way. We've all done it. I still to this day see these memories of posts on Facebook that I'm getting from days of past, and I'm just like, dear God, I should have just shot me. But I've learned from it, because now I look back at it, I'm just like, you stupid idiot. A lot of times I just had no idea what I was saying, and I'm like, in my head it sounded good, and so I used to wonder why people didn't actually like, it didn't get a lot more traction. But now, like, I read them, I'm just like, I see why. Like, I don't even know what the hell I meant. Why did you even say this? Why did you feel the need to say that? And it's because I was in that era, I was in that phase where whenever you felt something and you knew that something that you felt was about another person, You wanted to indirectly say something to that person instead of just, communicating like an adult. You sneak diss them on your profile, and when they confront you about it, you just be like, that could be about anybody. That's not you. Don't feel like you're so special that I'm just out here talking about you on the Facebook or on the gram or Twitter. I only had Facebook. Um, did dabble in the Snapchat a little bit, but I just got tired of that. But yeah, like that, where you're just like, you act like as if no one cares, no one worries, no one understands. Like you make yourself the outcast. That's what I mean. Now, low point vulnerabilities can cause or increase self-esteem issues, self-doubt, and insecurity. Self-doubt we kind of already went over. Self-esteem, I feel like whenever you hit these low points, you start to, and I know this happens a lot in women, especially women who had just had a baby, who've been married for quite some time. A lot of people, I will say people, but also women, tend to look back on how they used to look or how people they knew used to look, especially other women. Whether it was like high school, college, and then like you compare body sizes and you compare body growth, and it's weird to me because even guys do it, but when girls do it, it's like that was 20 years ago. What is this nonsense that you're spewing about how you look? And the one thing I really hate seeing, I won't say on this, is that one thing I hate seeing is that when you can tell a woman is insecure, that they're trying too hard, adding extra makeup, adjusting the clothes to look a certain way, buying a certain style of clothes that's not in their form, wearing what's the word? What's the word? Style is subjective, but you can always tell when people, I'll say people now, you can always tell when people are trying too hard to change their appearance or stand out or feel a certain way by depending on material, like the way clothing is made, by the way other people wear it. Like you're sticking to a specific style just to get noticed. And that keeps you in that loop. I don't think people understand is that when you're trying to feed off of people's attention, you keep yourself in that loop because then you're just constantly trying to go with the next best thing, looking like the next best way, trying to neither be the next best somebody. You're always chasing something that you can't actually attain. Now, we've gone over some of the challenges to mental health and inner peace. Let's talk about what causes any type of stress, depression, or low energy phases. To which a lot of you may know, but we'll go over them anyway just to kind of understand everyone's perspective, not our own. So, one, I have job loss. That affects a lot of people, depending on if you're single, if you have roommates, or if you have a family to take care of. Losing a job could always hurt. And even if it's not like whether you're struggling or you're okay, losing a job is always a hit, a blow, because it's like, what happens now? Where do I go from here? Like, you may not have another job lined up. If you don't have a job lined up, and like, let's say you get laid off or you got fired from whatever reason it may be, whether it is your fault or not, it's always what do I do now? And that is so stressful because depending on how things go within the next week or two, it really just kind of sets the tone. The longer you are without a job, the worse it gets. And, the first couple of weeks, you may be hopeful, you may be, in high spirits, or you could be like, this is about to get worse. And if it does get worse, it's a lot harder to recover from because you've planted an outcome and you just kind of stuck with it. Or you could have been neutral, or you could have been open minded, just be like, hey, this could happen. But a lot of times, losing a job, especially in the middle of what we're going through now. It can really take a toll. Another one would be competition loss. Let's say you're in any form of competing, whether it be, any type of sports, any competition. If you lost in any way, shape, or form, that can be upsetting. That can cause distress. That can cause depression like circumstances. That can put you in low energy phases because you're telling yourself that you were good enough to be number one, or you're good enough to win, or you're good enough to be at the top and came up short. That'll tear anyone down, but that's part of training when it comes to doing stuff like sports. Just about anything that requires a competition. If you're familiar with the competition and whatever it is that you're doing, part of actually getting to that point is the mental stability, like having the ability to keep yourself from getting to those low points. Like, it's very disciplined. There it is. Having the mental discipline to keep yourself afloat and know that whether it doesn't matter. It's like you came to show up, you came to win, but also being prepared to lose and going back to the drawing board. Okay, how do we win next time? Breakups is another one, and it's a strong one because depending on who you are and how you take breakups, how many times you've had a breakup in the past month, half a month, or half a year, whole year. Did you do the breaking up, or were you broken up with? Those all play a zesty part in any stress or depression like symptoms. Definitely low energy phases, especially for anyone in middle school and high school, where it's like you take a blow to the heart by a breakup and lose your appetite. You don't want to be seen with anyone, especially with social media. You're trying to figure out if this person's moved on or not. You may have, depending on how long you've known this person or dated this person, now you've got to figure out how to communicate with family on their side. You shut them all out. You still talk to them. How bad was a breakup to where if that's okay or not, So many variables to a breakup. Just know that shit hurts. Disappointment over issues is the next one on the list. I said that very broadly because disappointment can come in many shapes and forms. However you imagine disappointment over issues, whether big or small. There you go. Having an overall bad day. We did already discuss this a little bit, but yeah, if you're having an overall bad day, that can turn into an overall bad week. That can turn into talk to somebody. Weather, again. Weather can definitely take a toll. And when I say weather, it could be like cloudy day, a groggy day, a day full of mist and fog, which also weighs down a lot. A rainy day. That's not a thunderstorm, but it's a bland rainy day. Uh, Cold weather. I know with wintertime, I tend to, what's the word? I experience sad behavior. Sad being an acronym for seasonal something depression. I'm not gonna say that I'm diagnosed with seasonal depression, but I definitely do feel down in the dumps a lot during the wintertime. I also wanted to kind of be open here. Issues with or at school. You may be having some people bother you at school, some bullies, some people picking on you, making fun of you. It could be issues with teachers, any faculty, or it could be issues with grades. Whatever the case may be, that could also cause some issues as well. Material possessions. I just kind of put that because, a lot of us have material possessions, and some of us are good about keeping them intact, taking good care of them. A lot of you suck at taking care of your things. Game consoles, cars, shoes, clothes, cell phones, tablets, laptops, appliances. They break. And especially appliances like a refrigerator, washer, dryer, microwave. If those break on you, sucks. Especially if you don't have like maintenance with the yeah, you know, you have to fix it yourself. That's time and money. Now, we understand what's challenging towards mental health and inner peace. We also know what promo- not promotes, what causes low energy phases. Let's talk about what are some signs of low energy phases. As I said, I was going to point them out later on. Here we go. Baggy eyes, fatigue, lack of effort in tasks, mood changes, mood swings, lack or loss of appetite, weight loss or gain, lack or loss of desire, headaches, increase in tiredness. I put that because I often see symptoms of an illness or like taking medicine. They always have fatigue and being tired as two different things. So I decided to follow suit. Baggy eyes from being tired, from being fatigued, losing sleep, lack of effort in tasks, just, either going a little slower or not wanting to complete them or pushing them off to the next day. Mood changes, whether it be as quick as a bipolar or just, throughout the day, you go from happy to sad, upset, nervous, whatever it is. That's also exhausting. Weight loss or gain, pretty self explanatory there. Lack or loss of desire, that could be desire for anything. Won't go into detail on that. Increased tiredness, just freaking tired, like wanting to take a nap, wanting to go to sleep, and I want to go to sleep. So, with all that being said, I wanted to share some ways that I thought would help on how to decompress. Now, this is decompressing from any stressful or overwhelming situations, whether it be short term or long term. But also just in case you're having one of these days or moments in life, and you just kind of need something to turn around the days until you get home, or turn things around until you can go to bed. Something to just get you through the day. First thing I put, because it always tends to help me, listen to music. And when I say listen to music, I say listen to music that promotes positive thoughts and emotions. Again, as I was saying earlier, don't, if you're sad, go listen to sad music to make yourself feel sad. So latch on to that sadness because it makes you feel so good. Getting that cry out is feeling so good. Listen to something that makes you feel better, that makes you want to just get up and be like, you know what? I'm okay. Scheduled sleep and nap, and or nap. I could go for one of those right now. But I say scheduled because let's say you have a busy work week, a busy work day. You may have family involved or kids that are involved. Whatever the case may be. Try to schedule you a power nap, about an hour, or try to go to bed early on a night or so. Yeah, because waking up early blows. Hang out with friends if it helps in a positive, uplifting environment. Find friends that you can lean on, the friends that you can count on to lift your spirits up or put you in a certain situation or take you to a specific place, and not necessarily forget about your problems, but just know that you are outside of them, and you just kind of needed some time away to breathe, come back and figure it all out at a different time. Okay. What were we saying? Uh, okay, yeah. So hanging out with friends, good friends that you can depend on to help you get out of a funk. I've got a handful of my own. I hope that you can have some. If you don't, never fear. I drew a blank on where I was going with that. Don't hesitate to hit hit up the socials, and there's Discord. I don't use it. I should be using it, but I mean I don't have a lot of people interacting with me, so um, Discord is there if you ever need anyone to interact with. But I will try to be as available as possible, but I also have a life outside of the streaming. But definitely hit me up. Don't hesitate to hit me up or anyone else through BAFSAF up. Sure that somebody will be able to. I know physically and digital, like virtually, having someone there for you is different because you can hang out with people physically and do stuff together and have those talks face to face and have to share the laughs. You're not really missing out on a whole lot by doing it like over a camera or like video calling or anything like that. It is absent if you're doing it like over comment section, messaging, anything like that. So I would definitely suggest trying to get some FaceTime by any means necessary, but get it how you can. I would also suggest take some time to be alone if it helps. Like if you're not someone who likes to hang out with people. I know for me, whenever I was down in a rut, sometimes it would help to hang out with people, but there were a lot of times where I know I didn't want to be bothered by anyone, and I would just take that time to really recharge. Like it's okay to not want to be around people all the time. That's exhausting, and even with family, like get your own time and get some breathing room. Do something that you like, catch up on some chores or anything that you got to do, but do what you can in the confines of your own space. Now, here's a big one a lot of people can't do: disconnect from media and enjoy a day out. Even if you don't go outside, remove the screens. Uh, I often get some time outside, work out, I get to do the stuff. I will say it does help. Um, especially if you're very invested in people's lives, like other people's lives. Like a lot of people like to invest themselves in celebrities' lives and what news is being out there. Um, Not knowing that that's draining. That is spiritually draining. It's mentally draining. It's very exhausting to try to be caught up in someone else's life, especially scrolling all day. And then of course you're holding a device that operates on radio connection, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, even your cell service. And then, it's a battery. It's a battery that requires to be charged, and you're holding it in your hand or it's in your pocket. It's always touching you somehow. That energy has to go somewhere. So definitely just, put the phone down, put the tablet down, shut the laptop. And I would suggest just scheduling a day out, like a day that you can really pick to do that. I would recommend trying to stay away from as many screens as possible. Even there are ways where you can set your phone up, like with iPhones, you guys have a do not disturb setting. I think you can do the same thing for Androids, but either way, if you have to tell a couple people, hey, won't be contacting you tomorrow if you decide to hit me up, it's a me day. Go ahead and do that. Or what you can do is set up a specific voicemail if you have voicemail enabled, and turn your phone off. That way when people call, you go, hey, it's my me day. I'm taking a break from all screens. Leave a message. Possible. Well, you need answering machine again. Answering machine. Um, I don't know if you're a reader, but read a book, read a manga, read a comic, read any material that you can to keep your mind off of things. Disassociate with people, disconnect from the world, get back to the paper. Listen to soothing sounds and or meditating music. I separated that one because when I say listening music, of course we all have our preferred genres and artists that we want to listen to, but listening to soothing sounds like rain, white noise, forest, environment, like with birds chirping and all that stuff, something like that, where it's real soothing and peaceful. And then of course there's meditative music where you can do the meditation bowl. You can do like light drums. What else? I'm drawing a blank for some reason. Um, yeah, whatever you can find that you could classify as meditation music, give it a shot. You could also speak with a licensed professional about your issues. If family and friends aren't enough or available and music is let you down, set up a time with a licensed professional, i.e., a therapist. You could also meditate. Meditate. You could also meditate. Meditating helps because I wanted to speak more on this episode, but it kind of went a different direction. Uh, when you meditate, a lot of people feel like it doesn't work because they expect some transient, trippy ability to happen once they close their eyes. It's not the case, and it does take practice. So I would research, how to properly meditate, what to do, what not to do. If you fall asleep, it's okay. You just got to train yourself not to fall asleep. But if you did fall asleep through meditation, hey, there's a win. It's still a plus. For me, one thing that I have to say is that I can't actually cross my legs. I focus on like the feeling of them. I don't know why, but like when I can cross my legs, but when I'm meditating, it bothers me. Hold on. Okay, I don't know if it's because when I was doing it, when I was starting out to do it, I didn't cross my legs a lot, or maybe I don't know. I used to have this thing where I would cross my legs, and the weight of one leg being on top of the other would like bother me, and it would cause some lack of focus. So what I had to do was, instead of stacking one leg on top of the other, both of my knees would just be touching the ground. So I have one foot in front of the other leg instead of on top. Instead of like this, that. But I started doing that, and like, if you have poor posture, or if you have like a weird feeling with sitting up straight, or just like kind of sitting up on your own and balancing, that takes practice as well. It's getting your form, getting your body acclimated to being able to sit in position for longer than seconds without support. You could also sit against support as well. I would say so. I don't see why you couldn't. But I think what it is just like you allowing your body to rest in a certain position to align your chakra. I believe there's 7. I should know this, but I don't. I just don't. But oops. Yeah, you sit in position to align your chakra. So when you're meditating and you lock your chakra, you're actually locking certain points in your energy points. I'm having a horrible time explaining this because, again, I don't really know the definitions and the unlocking of your chakra. So you guys are gonna make me look it up. I should know this because when I hear people that know it, I'm just like, okay. When people talk about it, it just kind of turns me off to it, but you know. Here we go. Okay. So when you're sitting crisscross or front back with your legs, there are 7 chakra points that align from bottom to top, and they unlock as so from bottom to top. So let me actually do this even better. So you guys, what's up? All right, so here you've got the root chakra, right? Here's my mouse. We got the root chakra right here. You got the sacral chakra, which is orange. Root is red, sacral is orange. Solar plexus chakra is right here at the above the stomach or the abdomen, which is solar plexus. You've got the heart chakra, which is green, on the chest near the heart. You got the throat chakra, which is blue. You have the third eye chakra, which is purple. And then you have the crown chakra, which is magenta. Let me here. There's like one that explains. Depending on, like, there's a deeper meaning to all of them in different titles, but through advanced meditation, when you're unlocking these points and you're reaching all the way to the crown chakra, once you met your third eye and you open up the crown chakra, there's like a different experience that can happen. I wish I actually would have did the research on this so I could have showed it. I was so out of it, honestly. And again, low energy. I wanted to actually dive into meditating as far as the inner peace part of this segment, but it's all right. If you're watching me, you are pretty familiar with how Google, Bing, and Ask Jeeves work. Look it up yourself if you're ever so interested, because it's very interesting to understand. You know what? Here's one. Here, how about this? We'll look at this. So right here, let's see if I can pull this up. Here we go. Okay. 7 chakra points in the organs of the body. So Sahasrara is the crown chakra, which spinal cord and the brainstem, which I feel this a lot. without meditating, but we'll discuss that another day. Ajna, third eye chakra. You got the eye, the pituitary, and the pineal glands of the brain. Vishuddha, or the throat chakra, is the bronchial tubes, vocal cords, respiratory system, all areas of the mouth, including the tongue and esophagus. I think one thing I do remember kind of about the Vishuddha is that the throat chakra is pretty much when you get to a point uh, of of understanding yourself, like knowing that your words and the use of your mouth actually has power, and just kind of using it in a positive way. I'm like lightly explaining this, but yeah. Heart chakra consists of intestines, pancreas, liver, bladder, stomach, upper spine. Solar plexus chakra, the Manipura, is the bladder, prostate, ovaries, kidneys, gallbladder, bowel, and oh no, sorry, that's the sacral chakra, which is Vashtana. Solar plexus is intestines. Oh, okay. Heart chakra is heart and lungs. Oh, sorry. Anhata, heart chakra, heart and lungs. Manipura, solar plexus, intestines, pancreas, liver, bladder, stomach, upper spine. Svadhisthana, sacral chakra, bladder, prostate, ovaries, kidneys, gallbladder, bowel, spleen. Muladhara, root chakra, testes, kidneys, and spine. What are the part? All this stuff is on sale. Pituitary gland produces hormones and governs the function of other glands. Pineal gland regulates biological cycles, including sleep. Thyroid gland regulates body temperature and metabolism. Thymus gland regulates the immune system. Pancreas regulates metabolism. Adrenal glands regulates the immune system, metabolism. Reproductive glands, testes in men, ovaries in women, control sexual development and secret sex hormones. Okay, how about this? Let's see. We got root chakra, which is houses the dormant energy of Kundalini, the Shakti force of transformation and change. The first chakra is also associated with the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, the three most important energy channels flowing around the core of your spine. Sacral chakra point, which is orange, is the many essential hormone. Oh, the sacral chakra is your primary emotional center, and it regulates your ability to express yourself creatively and interact with others. Glands associated with sacral chakra are adrenal glands. Solar plexus, which is yellow, is okay. It just talks about digesting foods and controls your blood sugar levels. Heart chakra, that was green. Yeah. Contains a glandular is tissue. Throat chakra. Formation and growth of the human body. Third eye chakra. The pineal gland was considered a third eye, with many ancient beliefs indicating its use as a bridge between physical and metaphysical. Physically, the pineal gland plays an important part in controlling the daily rhythm of the body, circadian rhythm, through the secretion, of the melatonin hormone. It also is connected an etheric organ of psychic vision that exists between physical eyes. Third eye sees beyond the physical realm, providing you with gifts of deeper insight and clairvoyance. And last but not least, the crown produces hormones that regulate other aspects of the endocrine system, or endocrine system, including the thyroid, adrenals, ovaries. So yeah, that would be a little insight on the chakra points there. Oh yeah, but yeah, so yeah, advanced meditation, you're able to unlock those points, and it takes you into another realm of meditating where everything is just clear. You could find answers to questions by speaking with a spirit guide. You could just find answers with your inner self, with your future self. A lot to take in with meditation, but if you don't want to take it advanced, all you have to do is just sit and breathe. You can make chants. There are certain specific chants that you can say, like the stereotypical for meditating people would say Om. There's actually different pronunciations that you could say for different results. Let's see, meditation chants. And also with the way that you pronounce, or it's not necessarily the pronunciation, but the what am I saying? The chant, whatever the chant is, it produces a frequency, and that certain frequency that you reach can access a certain desire that you might be looking for. Um, for instance, mantras are what they call it. Sorry, mantra is like a chant, or mantra is chant. So a mantra, like the Sanskrit chant of Om Shanti or Soham, Hindu chants such as the Gayatri mantra, Christian chants like Hail Mary or Ave Maria, Buddhist chants like Om Mani Padma Om, and generic secular affirmations in English or your native language such as peace or love. But yeah, certain words, pronunciations, they carry vibrations which are a certain frequency. And those frequencies, you may find that your body and mind and spirit all react to them to cause a reaction to bring abundance like love, affection, material like money, luck, anything like that. But again, that can be a little more advanced for meditation. It's simply this, like if you're looking to just kind of take a moment to breathe and get away from the world, I would definitely recommend meditating just by sitting. You can cross your legs or you can front to back like me, and just take a deep breath. And when you start to breathe, allow your body to start to not sink, but you can feel the tension in your shoulders and your arms, and then even your legs and feet. You can start to feel them release because you go from sitting like this to like this, and everything is just like, once you feel like all the weight of the stress, all the weight of the world is off of you, look like this. You can do this, you can do this, you can sit, like you can sit however you need to that's comfortable, as long as you're able to rest your muscles and rest your body, but keep your mind conscious. Yeah, you'll start to feel your muscles like a little, like you can sit here like this, and then once you've like taken a, every time you exhale, like allow your shoulders to sink, allow your body to loosen up, allow your arms to rest, allow your legs and feet to rest. And you want to breathe when you're inhaling to take that breath. You want to come from the abdomen, not lungs, wherever they are, not just your lungs. Where you're breathing through your chest, you want to take your breath and kind of like breathe in, like suck in your stomach to get some more air, because then you're channeling all that from your body, from the abdomen to come up here. And then as you exhale, you breathe it all out, and it also comes out of your pores of your skin. That's why, like, whenever you feel like you're exhaling, that release that you feel is coming from your body is coming from your pores, because you have all these chi and chakra points in your body, which is the vessels of your spirit energy or your chi. and you can feel that coming through your pores. That's like for me, if you ever get upset, like very angry, and you get hot, you may start to feel like you can feel that adrenaline going through your body, your veins, but you can also feel that heat exuberating out of your body because your body is pushing out that energy. A lot of anime references that I can make, but I'm sure that if you watch anime, you could catch on your own. But I would suggest, if you're a fan of cartoons or anime or anything like that, even the movie Avatar 2, that's where I got the breathing technique from. And actually, a lot of that you see and hear in sci-fi or fantasy, there's a little bit of truth in what you're seeing and hearing. And I will say this with the breathing technique from Avatar 2, um, is it James Cameron? Yeah. So the James Cameron film Avatar 2, The Way of the Water, they talk about how to breathe in to hold your breath and swim longer, but you can actually use that as a method in everyday life, not just for swimming. For me, I tend to do that to also kind of help with gut, like my gut, like digestion. Also releasing anything in my gut, so I can like help with getting it out the way. Um, Relaxation, instead of taking my breath from here, I take it from down here. That way, I get more out through the lungs and out of my body, so I feel a little more relaxed, a lot better, and my breath is deeper. Um, and then also Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon series. I say that because that's already been produced and available on media. But there is a point where the main character Aang is having to go on this journey to find how to use his ability, which is being the Avatar. If you're not familiar with the show, I highly recommend watching it while the Netflix adaptation is getting its second season. Um, but for those of you, hold on. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, so for those who do know about Aang and the Last Airbender, there's that episode where I think he escaped. Well, no, he didn't escape. He ran off from the group, but I think he went to the previous Avatar Fire Lord's post, and he had to learn about Chi. And that episode, I wish I remembered more about it, but like I remember it because it was like when I was young and saw it, I was like, that actually makes sense. And then as I've grown and I've learned a lot about, life and the human body and the superhuman capabilities that we all have, I understand that that's actually there's some it came from something. I'll say that there's definitely some truth to it, and it came from something. But essentially, they teach you how to control your chi and also meditate. So I that's a twofer right there. And then lastly, Dragon Ball Z. This is when after the Buu saga, no, after the Cell saga. Sorry. We're going into the Babidi saga and the Majin saga. So, Gohan's all grown up and he's in school. Goten is now the newest member of Goku's family. Gohan was teaching Pan. No. Gohan was teaching Videl, his girlfriend, how to manifest and control energy. And they had similar teachings. that they did in the Last Airbender series, animated series. Basically, he was talking about how like you can feel it from your abdomen, which is a lot of like. And the thing about martial arts, kung fu, uh, chi control is that it all comes from your abdomen right here. Even in Naruto, chakra control, it all comes right here in your abdomen. Uh, but like you can focus on that point within you, and you can actually start to feel that there's something you can control. You can push that up and through your body. And in Gohan's teaching, once you feel that, you feel this pull to come up. You can channel that pull from your chest through your hands, and then he was actually able to make a little um, energy ball in front of her, something that she can like start soft with and control. Essentially, she became to being able to use projectiles and fly and do volleys and all that stuff, and even power up. But definitely, I will look into those three sources of media: Avatar 2, The Way of the Water, the James Cameron film on breathing control. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think it's the book of. I don't know what book it is or episode, but um, let's find out. Avatar: The Last Airbender. That would be ATLA. Avatar the episode. Aang, 2 A's. Learns. Control. Ah, Aang opens his chakras for Avatar state control. Full episode. That was oh, that was his like cosmic energy thing. Who did he see? Ah, okay. In order to master the Avatar state, you must open all chakras. The Guru is the 19th episode of Book 2 Earth of Avatar: Last Airbender and the 39th of the overall series. Okay, so Book 2, Episode 19. Avatar: Last Airbender. Called the Guru. Check it out. The Dragon Ball episode, the Dragon Ball Z episode, I don't know. I don't want to look that one up. But very helpful. It helped me. And this is so much I can go into. But it'll have to be on at a later time. So, back away from meditating and back to the rest of this list here. That got out of hand. Oh, here we go. Okay. So again, we were talking about ways to decompress. We just got off meditating. Enjoy outdoor extracurriculars such as sports, hiking, swimming, fishing, etc. Go for a drive. I would recommend when you do go for a drive, make sure you're not full of emotions, anger, or sadness. Try to go for a drive when you're calm and you're just needing like some nighttime air, especially in the summertime, or if you're in a area where the weather's nice at night. Even daytime or evening driving. I personally like evening to nighttime driving. Sun is setting and you're not facing it. But also it's not in your rearview mirror because that's annoying. But I don't know. There's something about being able to drive in the evening time when the sun is starting to set before it hits nighttime, even nighttime driving, and also driving in a thunderstorm. I kind of get a rush from that. Don't do that though. Just drive at night, let sunset, sit around, listen to some music, just get some wind in your hair. And then you could also consider taking a mini trip or a full vacation. All right, so with those options, I wanted to also provide ways to not only achieve a successful decompression session, but also ways to maintain the peace. That would start with maybe you can consider regularly scheduling a visit to a licensed professional, constantly, regularly see a therapist. Or yeah, therapist, and we'll just end it there. Schedule frequent outings with friends. I know as we get older or we start to do more with ourselves, time is what little we have, and so trying to get with friends may be a little harder for some of us. So try to plan things with your friends. Talk amongst each other. Hey, do you guys have off this day, this night? Really appreciate it if we can get out, even if something small, grab a bite, or we can do something a little more than that. And it also helps to have a partner who supports this as well. Like a partner who's not so bent on, oh, take me with you. Take me too. I want to go too. Let's see. Take a day or two out of the week or month to yourself to recharge. So as I was saying earlier, but make it a habit. You know, make it a constant thing that you do once or twice a month, where it's just you just break away from everybody and everything, and just kind of be to yourself. Read, draw, paint, lay out in the sun, or whatever it is that you like to do alone. That's surrounded in positivity. Doesn't keep you in your head. Thing where you can just allow yourself to be free of any stress or disappointment or being upset. Planning many trips or vacations, and not just planning but seeing them to fruition. So when I say planning, like successfully being able to see them through, make plans that you can actually find success in, as far as taking trips or full on vacations. And that's also working around any schedules that you have as well. Maintaining a healthy diet, staying hydrated, and stretch. Make sure you stretch. Stretch when you wake up, stretch during the day, and stretch before you go to bed. If you do that, it's a good start to being able to, because not only can you stretch your muscles, get loose and limber, but you could also consider that meditating as well. Yoga is a form of meditation, I would say. Take a day or two a week, disconnect from any and all screen. It to your discretion how often you want to do that, but I have yet to do it. It's been a while, but I should be able to do it one day. Take up writing in a journal or diary, maybe even poetry if you're able to. So yeah, if you're a fan or you're familiar or you have the ability to write poetry, do that. I know a friend or a few who write. They have writings, they have poetry to get some things off their chest, and it does help because I doing it. I used to write poetry a lot, and it did help. It did help. I think eventually I can go back into writing them because I'd like to share them with people. Instead of sharing other content that I see on social media, I can share poetry that I have up here and here. So, just to start to wrap up here, why mental health is so important is having a clear mind, which can allow for a better functionality throughout the day, and not only the day, for your life. But when you're looking at it one day at a time, there are ways that you can try to do things to make sure that your day is a little bit better. And if you're planning on having a bad day, you have the tools on how to turn that around instead of letting it get to you and you lash out at someone, you lash out at yourself, you lose a job, you get in a wreck, or whatever the case that can happen. I hope I was able to help steer you in the right direction, or hand over the tools that allow you to be able to get through your day. It promotes a better overall moods and days to look forward to. It can allow you to make better decisions in tough times. Your interactions with peers can be more on the positive side, and your overall health can look better. Now, with all this, it's just looking like you're doing well. You may not be feeling well, but you can look like you're doing well, because when you look that way, you can have your mind allow you to understand that everything's going to be okay. It's just you're having a bad time. It's a bad phase, but things, as long as you maintain your health, things will be okay. In your control, things will be okay. Your outlook on life can have more balance and a clearer understanding. What's better than being able to understand that, like, there are stuff going on in your life and you can go, hey, this will be okay. It's passing and it'll be okay. It's also important because you either don't have or know how to keep from dwelling in low energy phases. Wait, what did I mean by that? You either don't have or know how to keep dwelling in low. Okay, I said that wrong. Because I typed it wrong. It's either you don't or you know how to keep from dwelling in low energy phases, meaning that if you start to feel that you're in a low phase, or you're able to acknowledge like, oh man, I need to get it together. I've been dragging my feet. I'm sluggish. This thing bothered me, and I've let it get to me. You know how to pull yourself out of that. You know how to stop that from happening, or you just know how to like put it on. I wouldn't say cruise control. It's just how to ease it down. Like, however it is that you take these phases and how you can diminish them. And it doesn't have to be quick. Don't rush it. Whatever your process is, look forward to doing that. Your output could be your income, meaning the energy you release can be what's returned. You can have bad days, but you can also teach yourself that through the bad days, it doesn't change who you are, and it also doesn't change your behavior. Like I was stating earlier, although I walked in angry a lot at work, or I was angry a lot at work, I was still able to do my job and do it well. It's just that I knew there was a greater good beyond my emotions, and it was also my primary source of income, so I couldn't really do anything to rupture that. But I mean, there are ways that just like when you're having a bad day and when people are annoying you, your first response is to sigh or go what, or what do you want, or you're aggressively asking for a time. But when you get to a point where you're annoyed and it's obvious, but people have to talk to you, you just take a moment to breathe, and you assess the situation, you assess whatever is being brought to your attention, and through whatever day that you're having, you can still give the response that's required or appropriate, and still not be okay on the inside. As long as you're approachable and you can kind of split the response that you need to give versus the response that you want, and you give the one that you need to give, you should be good. You have the potential to look back on times you felt you were struggling and know you've come a long way through growth, maturity, application, and strength. That one's a no-brainer there. And if anyone you know or meet in the future is going through similar issues, you now possess the tools to help them through their troubling times. So, lesson overall, short and sweet. I just wanted to make sure I could help people where I needed the help, where I wanted the help, where I didn't allow the help because I was Mr. Mysterious. I didn't let anyone in. I let very few people in, but when I let them in, it wasn't all the way in. So, when you get those people who allow you to be vulnerable and trust, allow yourself to open up as much as you feel like you can. I'll say this, I've never fully trusted anyone, and that's just for my own security, but I can trust a lot of people with the most of me, and that's perfectly fine. The thing about about people and trust is that we tend to treat it like it's a all or nothing. Once you mess it up, it's unrepairable. You can heal from whatever caused you to feel that way, and you could rely on people once again. You have to understand is like what I was telling someone the other day. Anyone above the age of 21, let's just start with 21. Like as a growing human, an individual, your awareness starts to, depending on what you went through in life, your awareness starts to become a lot more broader with experience. A lot of us didn't actually find our awareness for life until reality hit, and we were forced to understand what life actually meant, how life actually operates. And, you know, I say 21 because it seems like a lot of 18 to 20-year-olds, well, 17 to 20-year-olds, we don't really actually understand what's going on when we're in that age. We want what we want. We see what people have and we want it. We have a plan on how things are going to go, but what we don't understand is that plans don't always go the way we want them to. Even though we've known that, we have this idea that we're going to have everything that we want. We want to manifest everything. And we think we can get it because we just think it's so easy. And we just disregard the adults' words like, oh no, you messed up as a kid, I won't. It's going to be easy. And we look at kids and we're like, all right, good luck. Because that's all you can say. Because you can't sit there and tell them that it's that they're right or wrong. Say good luck. Things could change. You know, it could be easier for that person, or it could be harder because they open their mouth. You know, life is funny that way. You just let them know good luck. But, you know, with awareness of life and reality, you don't actually understand how it all works until a certain age. By then, that's when life really starts for you, I would say. So let's say at 21, you really understand how life works, how you should be as a person with your emotions, with your mentality, with your responsibilities, with your presence. You're pretty much an infant to reality, adult reality, I should say. And so let's say instead of 21, you're one. You're one as an adult, but you're 21 as a human being. Because not only are you thrown into the fire with all that, like you have to keep your emotions in check. Depending on how you grew up, you probably have no idea how to handle your emotions. Not to mention, your hormones are still all over the place because of puberty. You don't stop puberty until about 25, 26, average. And you're still growing, and people are still growing and developing. So you're told to control your emotions. You're told to control and manage your thoughts, your mentality. But depending on how you grew up, that probably already ruptured. You probably have no idea how severe and sensitive it is for other people. Like, you also have to learn how to understand other people, how to consider other people, how to interact with other people. And then also, when you're going to school from K through 12, you don't really understand the term or idea of people who just aren't, I don't want to use the word crazy, but like that's kind of what I'm going for. Like, there's just people out there who aren't all the way there, or who are diagnosed with mental illness or disability. You aren't, unless that's in your home or in your area, you're not actually accustomed to that. So when you see it out in the world, you're like, that's not a normal person. What's going on? But as an adult, you start to see that there are people who need help and who can't get it, or who do have it. But it's just like, you know, that's their life that they live as someone who has mental illness or mental disability. And you're like, oh, so there's that too. There's just so much thrown at you as a young adult that if you don't know how to handle it, or take it into consideration, you might become jaded with your insight, or, you know, or your judgment. And that's another thing too. Like, depending on how you behaved in school, you could have been the judgy, chatty Cathy person, the rumor spreader. You can't really do that as an adult. I mean, you could if you had that kind of circle, but a lot of people don't allow that. They don't allow that, and they won't let that go by. There's just so much. And, you know, what I'm saying is that, like, we have, as young adults, we have this idea of who we're supposed to be, and it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. And we have to take in consideration that people that are younger than us, even the people that are our age, depending on how old you are, some of them might not even know how to be a full adult and a human yet. And so we have to just kind of take our time with it. I'm learning this too as I'm saying it. Not as I'm saying it, but like, I'm learning it and how to implement it better. Because I used to call people stupid. I used to call people idiots and think that they had no common sense. In reality, it's just like they didn't learn what I learned early on. They didn't, like they weren't familiar with what I was familiar with early on. So it's it's kind of like a learning curve. And some people, like when some people are deliberately not allowing themselves to learn, like they think they believe in themselves too much. By all means, like you're kind of dumb, But when some people who genuinely don't know what they're talking about or how to operate, and it's like you have to kind of teach them. We in society have been taught to like kind of look down on those people, but we can rewrite that behavior and go, oh, you don't actually know. Okay, so I've learned this early on. I'm going to go ahead and share this with you so you don't have to continue to look how you look now at 50, even though you're 39. We have to be considerate of others and understanding like we can share all the information and the experience with other people without having to look down on them as if they don't have what we have as a tool or a weapon to like survive in life. Just share the knowledge, share the wealth. Um, oh, what was I saying? I think I think with all that I just said, it that's like the biggest thing for me is that we're still learning how to use our brains and our emotions, and then we also have to keep them in check. With everything going on in the world, it's become a lot harder to do that because now I feel like it's not that people weren't aware back in the day. It's just that I feel like we understand our potential to use our awareness to change. So I feel like when I say that, I feel like the awareness with society is a lot bigger now than it was before. I say that in the sense that we are using our awareness to spread it and also fight back against any powers that be that are abusing whatever power and authority that they have against all that. I just think that we need to be more considerate of others and ourselves as far as mental and emotional health. I've had the chance to think back on all the times that I've been wrong to people and hurt them deliberately or just to make it deliberately. And I did it to either make myself feel better or to just like really hurt someone because I know I could. I weaponized this ability to like change people's emotions and their perception of me, and I used it in a horrible way sometimes. And I look back on all the females that I could have treated better, and I also look back on how I'm telling myself I should have treated them better, but well, there's no but. I should have treated them better because no matter how I was treated myself, whether they wanted me to know or not, or whether they were even aware that I was also like, it was just like it was a mutual disrespect kind of thing. Communication should have been there. Like I should have been able to speak my mind better. Like I did this thing where I would tell people a certain thing about how things would go, and that would be the ground, that'd be the foundation, and then over time things would be try to change or be skewed either by some behavior that I did that made them believe a certain thing, or it maybe I wouldn't put it past myself that I may have made things look a different way. I'm a very passionate person when I can be, um, when I want to, whenever I feel like I have that freedom to do so. But I digress. It's just the fact that like I see back now, like I wish I was better at communicating, but I'm happy that I know how to communicate a little better now, because I don't want to treat people how I've treated people back then. Like I genuinely don't want to do it. I I say this because I'm very proud of myself to know that like there have been times where I wanted to go back on the ways. I'm like I don't want to do that because this wasn't fair to them. It wasn't fair to me, but mainly unfair to them. I don't want to do that ever again. So I'm becoming more aware of the fact that like I can be better now than I was before because I was in a dark space and I was doing a lot of dumb stuff, but It's being more aware of your capabilities. It's understanding your limits. Don't press your limits. Don't work too much because work requires you to do it. Like, work however much you need to and be okay with it. Like, if it's a financial issue, I can't sit here and speak on anyone's financial burdens, but or choices. But if you can make choices to where you're spending less, I would advise to do so until you can afford whatever it is that you're seeking. Um, Even move. It's crazy that certain, like, there are different states to which the living cost is so drastically different. So crazy. Um, but all in all, I there's been an increase in like mental issues where people have been dealing with mental trauma, emotional trauma, and they've taken their own life. They've taken lives. They've hurt people. They hurt themselves, and I would like not to see it so much, if at all. But we have to take baby steps because just like the depths of the ocean and space, we have so much to learn about our own psyche. It's ridiculous. And one way to start is just understanding ourselves within. You got to be okay with losing people. You just, because it happens, it's inevitable. Whether you lost them as a friend or you lost them to death, or you lost them as a loved one or you lost them to death, whatever the case may be, it's going to hurt. But you take that pain and you understand that's the reality of it. That's the humanity of the life that you live, is that you know that to be real, and it's okay. That person is only gone physically, but they're not gone completely. You'll see them again. I wish that we could learn all about life instead of all that they're teaching us in schools. That way, I think if there was a better preparation for the real world, things would be a lot different. But as especially as teenagers who had access to the booming progressiveness of technology and social media, and we're just seeing how the world operates, seeing how bad the world really is outside of our blinders. It's tough to take in. It's almost guilty to live the way we live when there's people out there starving, barely clothed in the hottest of heat and the coldest of cold, and we're here calling in about a broken iPhone that we can get refurbished on, or whatever it is that there's so much to go in on as far as mental health and the importance of maintaining it. But I'll say this: it's just, don't allow yourself to be alone. Don't allow yourself to feel alone. Try to have someone, whether it's family or friend, even pet. Um, just know that there is something about you that's worth keeping around. You're worth it. Even if you've done bad, if you've made mistakes, people make mistakes all the time, big or small. It's still a mistake. We've just made tiers for them so we could, address them accordingly. But a mistake is a mistake. Just come back from it. Especially if it was accidental. It's a mistake. But no matter what, you are worth something, whether it is to yourself or to someone else or to people. You are worth something. And I hope you're able to find that worth in your journey. Because not only am I doing this podcast to help people, it's also helping me, and I keep myself open to receive help from people. But through this journey until my last day, we will continue to help each other. And I hope with everything as far as content, I'm able to provide any and all help, because I do find it helpful for myself. It's just stressful and a lot of work. But it's for you, the viewer. I will go ahead and wrap up. Mental health is a must. Try to do your best to keep it positive. I'll try to find an olive branch to reach out to if you ever need it. Please don't hold it. Don't bottle it up. I've done it. I've been to the darkest places of myself and my psyche, and it's not worth it. It's hard to come back from, but when you come back from it, it feels so good. But it's better not to go that deep, knowing you'd be all right up there. But again, wrapping up, I want to thank everyone for your continued support and love. I greatly appreciate it. Can't do it without you. For anyone that's been tuning in, thank you so much for stopping in. If you're watching this as edited, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this through and through. Game streaming this weekend, and then hopefully we can revisit Sketch and Catch for the month next Friday, but we'll keep posted on the socials like I said. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there, y'all. Try to stay out of trouble. All right. Take care of each other. I'm about to go take care of these kids. So, everyone, good night. Ciao.